Should you be live launching your membership? Today, we're going to go over what the difference is between live launching and having an evergreen funnel for your program. And I'm going to go over what is going to be best for you so you can make a really good decision on how you can get more members inside your program. All right, so let's just go over this. Live launching is typically when you have a launch period or event where the cart is open and the doors are open to your membership. Now, a live event means exactly that, that you have something in time, not necessarily pre-recorded. However, you can have some pre-recorded material inside a launch for sure, but typically it is done live in time. And so therefore, it's not something that anyone can access anytime. You've got a launch happening, it's over a week, and you're doing a whole bunch of things in order to rally interest, get people excited, share the value of your program, and getting them to consider joining. Live launching has been around forever. And in fact, probably everything started that way years and years ago because pre-recording was way more complicated. So now you have choices. Should you be live launching or having some kind of evergreen funnel that gets people in your membership at any time? So you can actually do both. However, I'm going to say that you should focus on one at a time. It's really challenging to develop an excellent live launch as well as it is an evergreen funnel. They both are a little bit different and require different work. So just really work on one at a time. Now, a lot of people start with live launching because it gives them the experience of connecting with people during a live period of time and a whole bunch of people at once. And so they can figure out what's working really well is like getting the attention and getting the interest of people. And then where am I losing people in that whole process of that week? Like, is it no one's showing up to the event, or no one's opening emails, or everyone is showing up to everything, but they're just not buying at the end? But the nice thing about that is it's a very clear contained period of, say, like 5 days, a week. I tend to suggest people don't do it longer than a week, so people can have a time limit to make a decision whether or not they're going to join your program with the offer that you're making at the moment. It contains it into this nice little package of effort and energy. So while it can be really tiring, you know it's going to be over, and then you can analyze the results. So that is one of the reasons that people really like to do it, because it's a lot more clear and it takes a whole bunch of effort, but then it's kind of over, and then you can relax and focus on serving your new members. Evergreen funnels are a little bit more of a drip. You're not gearing them towards an event or a period of time. So you're not going to get the critical mass of people necessarily all jumping into your funnel all at once or checking out your sales page, say if your membership is always open. And it's going to be a little bit harder to gauge the success of the system because you're going to get a trickle, and it's hard to really look at a trickle. It's not a great sample size. So despite all that, I admit that I started with an evergreen funnel before I live launched my membership. Now, the reason why I did that was because I was uncomfortable creating a really strong sales event for my program. And I created one pre-recorded that I put a lot of time and effort into to make it just really, really good. And it was challenging for me. Like, creating an excellent webinar isn't super easy. You've got to put a lot of components in there that you don't realize and you don't know until you start working on it and then improve it over time. It takes some practice, it takes some thought, it takes a lot of time and energy to make sure that it's like the right timing, that isn't too long, and that you do enough of a pitch about your program in there. There's some really critical secrets to creating an excellent webinar that I share with my members because it's really important, but it does take a little bit. So if you're going to work on it in the background, in an evergreen style, you're going to have more time to be able to come up with a really good way of selling. Now, a lot of people want to do it live because they love the energy of a crowd and you provides a little bit more opportunity to make it imperfect and to wing it a bit more because you're just showing up live to a group and sharing the information that they're there to receive. They're not expecting everything to be perfect. They're not expecting all your words to come out eloquently and have no mistakes. You can be a little bit more ad hoc in the moment, and you can use the energy to get you through it. So that's why a lot of people will choose that first. I just happen to do it the other way because I came upon a system that I really wanted to experiment with, and I wanted to put a lot of time into creating my webinar. But I did take that Evergreen webinar and I did trim it down, and I do it mostly live. Now, the reason why is because I feel like right now in the market, people are really enjoying live, especially after years in a pandemic where everything was online. People just want that much more of a connection to someone. And even if you're still doing your event online or your launch in time, people can tell the difference between being a part of something and connecting to you in the time that you're actually speaking and sharing information than if you've done something ages ago and they're just seeing it as a recording. And that just goes a long way to help people feel like they're making a safe investment decision to work with you further inside your program, to know that you are capable of showing up and being there for people, and that you're not just going to sell them something and then never be inside the program. That's not what people want. And I feel like they just get that sense of safety and that sense of connection when they're actually witnessing you in time talking about the things that you're talking about, and that you're still believing it's relevant, because a lot of things do change, right? And so if you're sharing this information during a live launch, you're talking about whatever it is that you want to teach people, you're sharing in time stories and things like that, they'll know that it's relevant to the world and helping them in their situation right now. And it's not something that really worked a year ago that's not working any longer. So I think there's just a few psychological things that do make a difference. And it also provides a little bit of scarcity, that people will know that absolutely at Friday at midnight, they have the limited time to watch this. They're not going to get any longer extensions on this. And that it's not only that, but the doors to your program are closing and they have a really limited time to check it out. So that incentivizes them to not only check out the content that you're sharing for a limited time during the live launch, whether it's just reading those emails or an event of any kind, but it also gives them a chance to check out your offer and all the bonuses and other things that you have alongside that for this particular launch that may or may not ever happen again. This really is something that when you do a live launch, you can do something completely different next time. You don't have to offer the same bonuses. You don't have to offer at the same price point. Live launching really is a timestamp to help people pay attention when there is something that you're offering that they're really interested in. And it just gives that more incentive to do so. So what kinds of events can you do during a live launch? Well, honestly, you can just do a pressure launch, which is just, you've got 5 days to read the emails and check out the sales page and get the bonuses. You don't have to have an event, but you do have to have like an open cart and a closed cart that's very clear to people, and lots of emails, social posts, you name it, whatever you like to do the best inside that period to get them to the sales page to checking it out. It's great to have countdown timers so that people really can see in their face that the time is going to be up soon. That goes a long way for getting them to pay attention in the first place and actually consider it. But you can also do events as well. You can do, as I said, like a webinar on a really juicy topic. You can have a challenge. You can do a pre-recorded video series that is going to be taken down after that week is over. You can do Q&A calls. There's all kinds of things you can do inside that period to get people to show up and make a connection with you. When you're live launching, you want to make sure that every time you launch, you're repeating a lot of what you've done. You can change up certain parts of it because there'll always be room to improve, but you don't want to throw the whole thing out usually and start from scratch with completely new information, new emails, new everything, because then you are going to just be putting a shot in the dark and have no idea where if any of that is going to fly. If you've got some things that are working well for you in your live launching, repeat those exact things, the emails, the webinar, who knows? Maybe it's the sales page. Find the part of it that isn't working as well and work on that one thing instead of throwing it all out and taking a real chance that none of it will work the next time you do it. The key to successfully launching a membership over and over again is going to be in your confidence. And that's why when you continue working on the launch strategy that you have in the past, you're going to get more and more confident delivering, writing, presenting, and creating the space for people to really take you seriously and pay attention to you and consider you as their guide. And that's why it's a critical piece, and why when you're live launching, you want to consider doing it a couple times a year. You can do it 3 to 4 times a year. That's a great average. I don't recommend doing it just once because I think that's too risky and there's too many people who want the help they need. And I wouldn't make them wait a full year to get support from you in the area that you are an expert in, or they'll just go find it somewhere else. And it is possible to live launch every month. If you're bringing a whole bunch of new people into your world and onto your list, you can live launch to those new people regularly if you have enough. It's absolutely possible. Of course, that may lead to some burnout if you do find live launching really stressful. So find the cadence that works well for you. I know I like to do it at least 3 times a year, but again, it's different for everyone and you can experiment with both. But again, try not to change up all the variables every time because you will end up throwing the baby out with the bathwater and end up with something too experimental, and you're taking a chance that you won't get the results you want because things are too different. All right, so that is my lowdown on live launching your membership site. And next week, we're going to talk about niching down and how to ensure your membership will fly when you launch, because you may want to make sure that you've got a really irresistible, clear offer that will capture people's attention and get them to buy, and to make sure that you are ready to launch in the first place. So we're going to go over that next time. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe so you don't miss another video. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.